No reason for yelling today.
I don't think so.
I don't plan on
I
yelling.
don't think so. All right.
Guess it depends on how many drinks I have. Will determine my amount of yelling. Just the one.
I think it'll be calm today.
Just
Cheers,
the one.
sir.
Just the one. The one of them today. Yeah, I remember this one. I remember.
Not too bad.
I remember. Nice and easy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Goes down easy. All right. What do we have today?
We have Dune. This is another one we haven't spoken about at all. We haven't said a
We
word.
do that.
I
We do that.
told you what I thought briefly, but I have zero idea.
No. Yeah. I got like 2 or 3 sentences from
I
you
have zero idea
of what I think.
of what. Yeah, you like saw it. I'm like,
Oh man.
all right, and then
And then that was it?
Yeah, 4 days went by, and
Okay.
I have zero idea.
You know, I saw this in so I saw it in RPX. Like honestly, there's probably 3 other people in that theater.
Okay.
And it was cool because it felt kind of like I was watching it by myself. Which
Which is a great experience.
is ironic because I was watching it by myself at home
Yeah.
when I saw the first hour of this movie
Mhm.
and said, "Oh, no. I'm
Can't.
going to turn this off and I'm going to go finish this in the theater."
Do
which
it the right way.
I never thought I would do. Never did I think, with the whole pandemic stuff that's been going on, how we've had these day and dates on HBO, and even when they were just doing digital releases in general, never did I think, if a movie is available at home, I will pay money to go see it in theater.
Okay.
I really thought I would watch anything available to me at home. I would watch it at home. And this movie got me. This movie
Did
is
you
the one.
think like
that-
it would? Did the thought ever cross your mind? Like maybe I should go see it. Okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all did I think Dune was going to get me back, or not back in the theater, but that Dune was going to convince me
to go pay money.
that some movies need to be in IMAX in a theater.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
Interesting.
so unbelievable. And I mean, I don't have a small TV. I don't have a
65er?
I have a 75.
75, okay.
And I don't have a quiet sound system.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm still enjoying my movies at home.
Yeah.
But this movie is not meant for a 75-inch screen. It's
Not meant for an 82-inch screen.
not even 100 inches.
Yeah.
People are like, I got a projector at home.
I don't give a
I
no,
don't care.
I don't care.
This was meant to be 6 stories high and just on the loudest sound system that you could possibly stand. It
Okay.
was amazing. And I think I was telling Kat when I got out of there, I said, there's not just kind of doing what we do, watching a
Just watch
gajillion movies all the time.
Yep.
There's not a lot of movies that break my top 10 from like
Ever?
movies that I
Yeah.
watched young that
Yeah.
sort of meant something to me growing up, and this one is like
Okay.
sneaking up in there. And
Whew,
I'll go
hot
into
take.
it. I know.
Hot
I know.
take. Hot
I don't
take.
know. It just got me. It
Okay.
just got me. And
Okay.
I'll say this. I will say this. I agree with what everyone is saying. The movie abruptly ends. It's sort of like a first and second act with a movie with no ending, right? But I was on board. I was on board with
Okay.
with the whole thing, and I want to get into detail with you about it, but
Well, yeah, I just wanted to know like your initial thoughts
my
on
initial
it. Yeah.
thoughts are it's way up there for
Interesting.
me.
Okay.
Way up there. So what are your initial thoughts?
So I don't know. I didn't know anything of this story.
Yeah.
I didn't see the old one. I didn't see the series. I for sure as hell did not read the book. I can tell you that.
We've established that here before.
I can tell you that right
we
now.
didn't read books.
No. So, and I had always heard about it, like from a sci-fi thing.
Yeah.
I was always like, okay, Dune, just like I heard of Alien and like all these other movies.
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
again, some I still haven't watched. But this movie is something special. It's
Yep.
All the big words that you can use for a film about cinematic and dense, like
grandiose.
all these words that you can use are 100% true.
Yeah.
Because
I agree.
there's very few movies that I've watched in my life, and I can make this claim about Dune and not even The Dark Knight, is that I was a part of this movie. I was in this movie. I was in this world. I was on this planet. I was with these characters. And movies don't usually do that for me.
Right.
But I was completely absorbed
Yeah.
in everything that was happening.
Yeah.
I did not blink the entire time.
Good.
It was like I don't normally feel that way with movies. And this movie completely had me submerged in it the entire time. And I loved that.
And I think
I loved that.
I think you're sort of touching on why it was creeping into my top 10, because I think I used to get that way a lot as a kid.
Yeah.
Even, when you're a teenager and you're sort of discovering all of this, movie magic for the first time, I think that happens a lot.
Yeah.
And then it sort of loses the spectacle as you go. And for some reason, Dune I have my reasons, but it just took me right back to those times where you're right. It was like I was there.
Yeah.
I forgot that I was in a movie theater.
Exactly. And you walk out and you're
like, oh, yeah, and the sun hits you and you're like, man,
okay.
I forgot that I lived on planet Earth for a minute.
It's a spectacle. I don't want to use all the same words everybody's using, but what else do you use?
Yeah.
Like, what other words do you use? It's poetic. It's glorious.
Absolutely.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's breathtaking. It literally was breathtaking, because there were some moments in that movie when I couldn't breathe.
Right.
I was so enamored with it. I was so obsessed with it. And it was just, I never expected it. I never expected to feel that way about this movie. I knew I would like it. I knew it would look cool. I knew it would be loud. Awesome. But I never expected to feel differently walking out of this movie.
I mean, it's really like just the epitome of excellent filmmaking. Is really because it's
the top tier.
You can take any scene out of this movie, and one that I'll kind of bring up that got me right away is when Paul gets visited by the Gesseric, the witches, right?
Yeah, that was
And he puts his hand in the box, and he just has to deal with the pain. And he's like,
screaming, and the whole
the
library thing they were in,
and the score.
Oh my gosh!
That scene by Hans Zimmer was just beautiful. It was just, beautiful in the sense that, like, it was all put together, so perfectly. It was like this beautiful package that everybody that made the film delivered to you in that scene. It was just like, here you go. Here's this amazing gift that we are giving you.
For 6-7 minutes.
Yeah.
However long it was.
You're just like, oh my gosh. Perfect.
And it was just an empty room. It was it looked like a library, I thought.
I don't know exactly what.
But even that I was like enchanted with.
Yeah.
Like this dark, gritty, terrifying scene.
It just completely captures you, and it's awesome.
It's so good.
So to get into, I guess, a few details about the movie, the way I was also describing this movie to people, which is sort of backwards, but I'll explain in a bit, is I sort of said, this is Star Wars meets Game of Thrones meets Passion of the Christ.
Whoa, that's a new one.
Yeah.
That's a new one.
Because, so the movie is about sort of the chosen one, right?
Yeah.
That's like going to save the planet Dune, or not the planet Dune. Dang it!
That was my big thing, and that'll be my next.
Well,
point.
so that's sort of the Game of Thrones of it all.
Yeah.
Is that there's names and places and things, and
Houses
it's a
and-
world. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
House Atreides, and
Yes,
they
yes.
have to go and take over, and
This whole spice is
the
gold of it all.
This drug is
Yeah.
actually fuel for space travel, and so they
Mm.
need to go and harvest it. But someone was already there harvesting it, and then the Emperor says, now House Atreides goes and harvests it, and then you find out
Yeah.
it's a trap. But that has to happen. That sacrifice has to happen for Paul to get there, so that
start the war,
yes,
so to speak.
yes, yeah. Again,
No,
he's
it's
like
not right,
he's
but-
like, again, for lack of a better word, he's the
Yeah.
he's the Neo, right? That goes
He's
in.
the Simba of the
Yeah,
story.
yeah. He's the Luke Skywalker. Right?
Yeah.
Which again, I say it's backwards because Dune, as you kind of mentioned earlier before, sort of influenced a lot of these. Dune the book influenced a lot of these sci-fi movies, kind of moving forward. And so, to give credit where credit's due, Dune is sort of the start of all of these other movies. But just so people can understand, it is the space sci-fi mixed with, again, but they're still using swords and
Weapons,
yeah, and all these melee weapons, and then again
The
you
suit
have
that they had.
Yeah,
the
it's so
suit was really
cool.
cool.
And then you have Paul, the chosen one,
Yeah.
and that's where I'm like, oh, he's the one
He's
that's
the
going
one,
to
yeah.
lead them to a greater life. And I was eating it all up. I was just, yep, give me more.
Yeah.
I'll do it. Timothy Chalamet just did a phenomenal job.
I liked Oscar Isaac. And
I
know
loved
a
Oscar
lot of
Isaac.
people were like, "It wasn't."
Why?
I'm like, "What are you saying?"
No, he was.
They're like, he was very
fantastic.
God. Somebody used
What?
like mild or monotone or something or flat.
I think he did a great
I think
job.
maybe flat. They're like, "Oh, he's real flat throughout the."
No
I was like,
way.
"No, he was
Played the
He
part-
was the one.
Yeah,
for
and
the majority of it.
And I love the father-son relationship between him and Paul, and I again, it's in the trailers, but I love the line that even if you said no, you'd still be everything I ever wanted you to be,
Yeah,
my son.
still be, yeah.
Ah,
I
awesome.
loved Chalamet and Momoa.
yeah, that
Uncle
that
nephew
bond
type of thing.
Yeah.
The little banter that they would have.
Their bond was, again, it was, but
But everybody did a
everybody.
good job. Like I can go through everybody and
yeah, the
and
Baron,
say the same thing. Like they
I
all
loved
did
Jessica,
good.
the mom. I'm like, oh my gosh, all of it.
Oh,
Javier Bardem
yeah.
did it. I mean, just an
And I didn't know
all-star
he
cast.
was in it.
Oh, yeah?
Once he showed up, I was like, "Here we go!"
Yes, all-star
And he's
cast.
spitting on the ground and stuff. I was like, "Let's roll!"
It's an honor to get spit
And
on
I
by
get
Javier Bardem.
he might have been in the trailer. I don't.
I don't
I
remember.
think I watched the
I didn't know
trailers
he
like
was in it either.
once, but once I
Yeah.
saw him, I was like,
I
"Who
didn't know
else
he
is
was in it
gonna
either.
show up here?" And then he showed up again at the end, and I was like, "Yes, he's not done yet."
He plays a much bigger role.
Yes. So I
Yeah.
I was for everything.
Me too. I was.
I'm
was
like
all
all
about
on
it.
the board for the second one.
Yep.
And I'll probably go back and watch the original.
Yeah.
now.
Why not? Why not go check them out?
Yeah.
Why not just see what it's? Obviously, it keeps getting redone, right? So there's something to it.
But this
And so-
one,
yeah,
it's
I know.
it's not even just Dune as a story because I don't know the story.
Yeah.
This
I know what you're
this
saying.
as a movie,
Right.
as like just as a if I don't have to know anything,
I
nobody
Agree
has
with
to know
you.
because now I want to know.
And I think that's huge because a lot of things like Star Wars, as an example, rides on the coattails of previous successes, right?
Yeah.
And this movie stands on its own. And I know that there are probably Dune fans,
Oh yeah,
But-
there definitely is.
not nearly to the extent of a
Of a
Star
Star
Wars or even a
Wars.
Star Trek. And
No.
and this movie was really, it could have been called anything. And that's fine with me.
Yeah.
Because the most important thing is that somebody told this story well. And I know it's a great story on its own, but
Denis Villeneuve, I believe.
Denis Villeneuve.
Denis Villeneuve.
Villeneuve.
Okay.
I always want to say Villeneuve, but it's
Yeah,
Villeneuve.
yeah.
Denis
I mean,
Villeneuve.
he did it, man. Like
He did, yeah,
He's the one
yeah.
that told the story, and it couldn't have come together any better.
And again, I
don't know.
agree.
I don't know what was missing. I'm not saying this movie is a 10 out of 10. It's flawless. It's perfect.
Right.
Because I mean, I don't know that any movie is.
Right. And
But I don't know from what I saw could have been done. Well, I would have done that differently, or that should have been done this way. I know people were like, "Well, it just ended." Yeah,
but
there's another like of.
To be
coming.
fair,
And
it says part 1.
Yes,
right up
and
front.
It wasn't a bad endpoint. It left it at a point. It's like, and I forgot exactly what she said. It's like, this is just the beginning.
Yeah, right.
That seems like a pretty good place to end the beginning of the story.
Yeah.
Like, it seemed perfectly fine with me, and that was everybody's big gripe. And I was like, what? She ended it on a good note, and it left me like, oh, there's more. What's to come?
More that you wanted.
Yes. So now I felt like that was a good place to end the first
yeah.
part 1 of this story.
I agree. He tells you right up front, it's not going to end here.
Yeah.
Right? The movie, that's how it starts.
And the whole thing of, oh, well, we didn't, like, we knew we were getting a second one.
Come on.
It took them long. It took them a while. It took them all weekend.
There's like $5, I think.
But there's no, you didn't put part 1 in the editing process of the movie.
Yeah. Come on,
to be
guys.
like, well, we don't really know what's going to happen. Like, you knew.
Yeah, as soon as
you knew a while ago.
It was like in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, you knew a while ago.
Yeah. So I don't really give much weight to those complaints of, oh, it just ended. Well, no, it didn't.
No.
And even if that's true and you felt that way, which fine, you have a right to feel however you want.
Mm-hmm.
But you knew, right?
I knew at the beginning. I said, cool. So this is
cool.
A 2 hour, 40-minute part 1.
Right.
That's fine with me.
But Denis Villeneuve, I think, is, again, I'm like, I don't really add favorite directors to a list. And I'm like, between Blade Runner 2049 and
Arrival.
Dune. Oh, Arrival was my favorite movie of the year.
I need to rewatch it because I watched it not as a background thing. I watched it as a not paying attention thing. And not to be disrespectful, but I don't know what was going on. I was like, oh, I need to see this because everyone's talking about it.
Yeah.
But I didn't watch it properly.
Arrival is, again, it's just a beautiful movie, right? And again, something you said earlier was poetic. And that's, I think, a great way to describe him as a director in general. Mm-hmm. A lot of what you're seeing is poetry. It's just art. It's
trying to
tell
a story.
And again, how many directors do we have these days that still have that auteur that you're like, oh, I know. Yeah, right? Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
But he does. He has
exactly.
He has the same way.
Right.
Because he loves the story that's being told and he wants to do it properly. This is art to them. This is not like some just thing that they do.
A job.
This is not a job to them. Yeah. This is like, I'm trying to tell a story. Mm-hmm. And I need the world to understand why I'm telling this story and the way I'm telling it.
Yeah.
And he did that.
I agree completely. And I'm going to say something probably a little controversial. I think
Here we go.
I think Denis Villeneuve is what everybody was hoping Zack Snyder was going to become. Because
like
they wanted
prominent. Okay.
A visual director, but a good storyteller. And where I think Zack Snyder lacks in his storytelling capabilities.
Yes, because some of Zack Snyder stuff looks. I think again, I'm a Zack Snyder fanboy. I like the way some of his stuff is set up. I think it looks very cool. It's very different.
A lot of it looks cool, but again, I mean, I would like anyone to challenge me on anything Zack Snyder has made and be like, tell me if you felt as strongly about that scene as you do when the transporter loses is unable to get the harvester out of the field.
Yeah.
Oh my! Again, I'm just like,
you're sucked in. You're sucked into that. Yeah.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought I was Paul.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
you're like, what would I do? Like, how would I?
And I'm like,
I gotta do this. I gotta do this.
He's basically getting high for the first time, and he's like, whoa.
Yeah.
And you're like,
yep.
Again, you're just
it's so.
But he's telling a story. Again, he's not
trying to
vocally telling it.
Yes.
He's just showing
that's what
you.
Timothy Chalamet is for.
Yeah.
It's for him to tell it.
And he's so good.
So how did it change anything for you as far as Timmy Chalamet is concerned?
Yes. Yeah. Because
it changed a lot for me because I've had some some thoughts and
I
opinions
cannot
on
wait
the kid.
for. I mean, I wasn't really I wasn't not a fan of his, I guess, but I didn't really care about.
And that was my thing. Is everyone was like, this kid's up and coming. This guy.
You're like, based on what?
Yeah, I'm like, how do we know that?
Yeah.
I mean, he's done some stuff, but like, what is? And I should probably look back before I say it because I don't know. I haven't seen all his movies.
But no
like,
major blockbuster.
What has he done that?
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, this kid is something special. Like the way everybody already saw him before this movie.
Yeah.
Because people were talking about he should play this role. He'd be good for that. And I'm like, I don't. All right.
It's hard
but after this, I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, now I get it because I saw him do something. So this role that you thought he would be perfect for, I could see that now.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Wonka.
Dick Grayson.
Oh, yeah.
People were wanting him to play Dick Grayson.
That was a while back.
But I'm like, who's this kid?
Oh, yeah.
He's going to play Dick Grayson.
And now you're like, oh, yeah.
And I'm not saying cast him right now.
Right.
But if that story were to pop up tomorrow, I wouldn't hate it the way I hated it a year ago.
You're like, no, not him.
Yeah, I'm like, why?
It's hard to
be.
But
now I understand if someone's like, oh, well, he's could possibly play Dick Grayson. I'm like, oh, okay. I can make my peace with that.
There's a lot of actors who make good movies and do a great job. And people can say that they would be a good leading man, or leading actor. But I'm like, that happens all the time where people want people to be in leading roles and then it doesn't pan out.
Oh, they fan cast. I was like, who gives a shit about that?
Yeah.
But like after I saw this, I'm like, I could see him doing a bunch of stuff.
Right. Obviously,
like
he's
bunch
good.
Of great stuff. Wonka, I'm there Thursday night for Wonka.
Yes, I am so excited.
I'm on the Timothée Chalamet bandwagon now. But because he proved it. He proved it to me that he's somebody worth watching.
Yeah. And I will see Zendaya in anything.
Oh yeah, she's fantastic. And that was the other thing people griped about. Like, oh, she was in the movie for 35 seconds. Guess what? Yeah. We're all gonna go see the second one. I know. Zendaya.
And I get it.
She's phenomenal. She's so much fun.
I did not go to see her in the movie.
Oh, she's not the reason I went. I knew she was in it.
Right. And I guess maybe if I had felt strongly about that, I've also never really gone to a movie specifically just for one actor. So the fact that she was used in the marketing didn't really bug me at all.
No, it didn't bother me.
Especially because her snippets, because everyone's like, oh, she was in there for 5 seconds, and then they were just like 10 seconds, and then
I'm like,
7 minutes. The whole movie 7 minutes. I'm like, really? But she's there. She's there in the beginning, in the middle, and the end.
Yeah, like you didn't. Like, everything else you saw didn't make up for that.
Yeah, like, I don't know why that bothered you.
This movie was never a Zendaya, starring Zendaya. Like, it was never that.
No.
So I'm like, why would that be the thing that took you out of it or whatever?
Yeah, and again...
Unless you're, like, a huge Zendaya fan, which I am.
That's what I mean,
But I'm like, this was, to me at the time, again, knowing nothing, was an Oscar Isaac and Timothée Chalamet movie.
Right.
That's what it was to me.
And I guess...
And you don't need to get me on board for Oscar Isaac for anything.
No, me either. He is
not at all.
He can be whatever he wants to be. He proved himself a long time ago.
Yeah, I'm going.
But I guess I'm like, I want to meet that person. Like, who saw the trailer and was like, oh, Zendaya's in it? The only reason I'm going to go watch that movie is because of Zendaya. Like,
yeah, that's an interesting person.
Like, who's that? Like, who was that person who wanted to go see this sci-fi movie?
She's intriguing though. I almost watched Euphoria on HBO Max because of her. Oh my gosh,
yeah. Again,
like I still probably should at some point.
I mean, she is phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
I am
on board.
I am 100% on board, and it's so funny because I wasn't in the first Spider-Man movie. I was like, "Who is she?"
Yeah, and
like, why is she there?
We still never even really knew until we saw the movie.
Then I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah,
she is awesome.
Yep.
But yeah, so I'm gonna put this movie at like a 9.5.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna get it way up there.
Okay. Do you want mine?
Yeah. What's yours?
Mine was a 9. I was
okay.
Just a big round 9.
Good.
Again, I didn't know a lot. I didn't read I didn't do anything, but from everything I saw, it was like a 9.
Yeah.
It was 90%
amazing.
Perfect. Like yes, as close to perfect as you can get. And I don't know a lot of movies off the top of my head that are in a 9.
No, I don't really.
Off the top of my head, there's only two others that I can think of. that have actually been like, I can say those movies are a 90.
I can't think of anything, but
Yeah,
I will say, I don't know. Well, I guess maybe I don't feel this way, but maybe I reserve the right to change that if
I think you always can.
part 2 doesn't stick the landing.
Okay.
Maybe if I don't I feel like we're on our way somewhere, and it's a road trip, and we're halfway there. We might be 1/5 of the way there, but the trip so far has been great.
Yeah.
But really, at any point, something can make this trip awful.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm saying I reserve the right to
but
change that number.
That. I think it's always possible.
If it all doesn't come together, it's like
I
think How I Met Your Mother is like one of the best sitcoms of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But the last season is the worst ever.
And it just takes you out of it.
And it makes me not want to watch the show anymore.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean.
And that's
I'm nailing it. Oh, you ruined the whole thing.
Yeah, see, now I'm thinking of a ton of shows that are like,
that
awesome,
happens too.
And then you're like,
oh, and then you ruined it.
Yeah.
So Game of Thrones is another good example.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine was one for me.
Oh, yeah. You said the whole season was not
the whole
good.
last season, I'm like, okay, so you just needed to do something. Okay, cool.
All right, cool.
But again, some of it is everything before it was good enough to be like, all right, that one sucked, but, 8 out of 9 ain't bad, or like whatever the situation is. And How I Met Your Mother, the same. 8 out of 9, whatever, ain't bad.
Right.
So I hope people don't go into Dune 2 like, oh my God, this is like this next one has to be perfect, and everyone's expectations get all messed up.
Super high.
And then they're like, oh, well, that wasn't as nearly good as the first one.
Yeah.
Because it might be just exactly as good as the first one, but people's expectations get all messed up.
Exactly.
And they're like, well, now it wasn't as good as the first.
Yeah, because when you go from 0 expectations to high expectations.
Because now I have high expectations for the second one.
Completely.
But I know how this one was done.
Right.
So I can prepare that myself for the second one.
I'm going to try to go in
2023.
Neutral.
October.
All right. Dune was awesome.
It's great. But is it the best movie we saw this week? Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is.
100%.
Absolutely.
I saw 3 movies this week, and yes, it is in fact the best movie.
So the next movie, I have a lot of complaints about. And
I do too.
Okay.
But
all right.
I'll still let you go first.
You're gonna why?
Oh, I can go first.
I want you to go first because I don't know if it feels like. So you told me you saw Army of Thieves.
Yes.
And I'll be honest. I was kind of in the if I get to it.
Yeah.
No. If I don't, no big deal.
Yeah.
And then you told me you watched it. You said it was fun. So I said, all right, I'll give it a shot. So I did. And
it was not fun.
Yeah. And it was fun. But I want you to go first.
Okay.
Because I'm worried that maybe I'm nitpicking a little bit on this movie.
No, I doubt it.
Yeah?
I doubt it.
All right. But still, I want you to tell me what you thought.
God, I already don't know how to pronounce the guy's name. Matthias.
Oh,
I know is his first name. So I'll just Matthias? Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
So I loved him in
Matthias.
Army of the Dead.
Oh, yeah.
He was awesome in Army of the Dead. So when they're like, hey, we're going to do a prequel to Army of the Dead starring this guy, I was like, cool. Like, that's all I needed.
Yeah.
He was a fun character in the movie.
Yeah.
He did all this stuff. I was like, I'll watch a movie about him. And then when I found out it was on Netflix, I was like, cool, even better. But it's a Netflix movie. So it's probably not going to be very good. at the time is what I thought. I said, this isn't going to be like a big, it's a Netflix movie. But now you definitely got me on board to go watch it because I could do it at home.
Right.
So I also didn't know he was directing the movie.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, oh, good luck.
I think he's the one that
good for him.
Pitched the whole idea. He was like,
when I watched the interview with him and Zack Snyder, I was like, yeah, I was like, I didn't.
Like that movie got made because he.
Yeah.
Like,
and Zack Snyder's like, I let him. Yeah. He's like, I did what I needed to do, and I let him do what he needed to do, and it was fine. But when I first saw trailers and I was reading everything, I thought this was going to be like an action-packed, fun, crazy, like twist and turn type of movie, and it just wasn't that.
Yeah.
And the parts I had the most fun on were the safe cracking parts.
Right.
Was the 4 separate times that he was cracking safes. And everything in between was like just the weird filler stuff that I didn't need. Some of it dragged on.
Okay.
A lot of the time, and I'm like, that's
right.
So they have a heist, and then they have this thing in between.
Yeah, right.
And then I'm like,
and then another one.
Hurry up! And then they
get
have
to
a
the
heist,
next heist. Yeah.
And then they have this other part in between, and it's like, I'm like,
yeah.
The heisting stuff was cool. It was fun, and I liked all the cast, and they were fun, and it was silly, but I didn't have like an exhilarating time.
Yeah.
But the safe cracking stuff was cool because I don't know if that's
cool.
Is that really how you crack a safe and just listen?
I don't think so.
There's got to be more to it than that. But when they do
but he's been training.
Yeah, and he's like
years.
been doing this all his life, and maybe he perfected
I don't know, man.
I'm not a safe cracker.
Yeah, if I was, wouldn't be here.
Exactly. Like I would be stealing millions of dollars. Like I would.
I'm doing what they were doing.
But that was the only part of the movie I liked, and I mean, it just what I thought it was this action-packed thing.
Right.
But Matthias, God, I hope I'm saying his name correctly.
It might be Matthias.
Matthias?
I don't know.
I liked him the entire time. I liked everything he did.
Yes.
I can't remember her name.
Nathalie.
Emmanuel. And she was fun too. She should be in more, action-y kind of stuff. Was she like my favorite? No, but like if you put her in the right role, she could probably kick some ass. She did very good in the Fast and Furious franchise.
Yeah.
But again, they didn't let her really do anything. And I kind of felt like in this movie, they didn't really let her do anything.
Yeah, she should be probably like a main.
Yeah, like let her
character.
do something.
She's distractingly pretty.
Yeah, it's very annoying. It's super annoying. God damn it. Yeah, it's very 100%. So like the two of them, and like I didn't like their like romance.
Yeah,
I didn't like it. It didn't fit.
I get it.
It didn't fit. It didn't make sense. And like I get the whole lead up in the end. This I was just again my expectations for this movie were too high because I really liked Army of the Dead.
Okay.
Army of the Dead was fun and it was exciting, and I knew this wasn't a zombie movie, but I thought this would be like an action-packed heist movie. But Matthias, do more stuff, guy.
Yeah, he's good.
Do some more stuff.
I like it.
Do a stand-up special. I know you're not a comedian, but he kind of reminds me of like a Ryan Reynolds where he kind of just says stuff. And it's just funny
because of how he says it.
Because of how he says it.
Yeah.
And no, it wasn't funny, but he said it. And
the way he did it was funny. Yeah.
So I this movie was a fun enough time on a Friday night on Netflix.
Right.
Would have been bummed if I paid in the theater.
Yeah.
Would have been bummed.
Yeah. So I agree with everything that you have said. And I didn't, but I like his character a lot.
Yeah.
And I actually like, Gwendolyn, Nathalie's character.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I agree. I don't buy their love interest. I wish they would have just left that alone. Like, they don't have to fall. They could have been best friends, and I still would have, I would have probably appreciated it more.
Yeah.
They don't need to like each other. I don't really like the other characters all that much.
Team?
Yeah.
The team of people?
I don't like the team. And
I didn't like Brad Cage.
Yeah.
He bothered me a lot.
He bothered me too.
He bothered me a lot.
I
did like the hacker.
The hacker was
and
funny.
then I did like the getaway driver. But he didn't do anything.
Right. They just
he was just there. He
didn't
even drive away at any point.
Right.
I'm like, damn, we're gonna get a cool like car chase, like whatever.
Okay.
And I'm like, we didn't even get a cool car chase.
This is like my biggest gripe about the whole movie is that it's like they said, listen, we're going to do a heist movie. And the studio was like, oh, okay, another heist movie.
Yeah.
And they were like, no. Listen, heist movies have a lot of cliches. And the studio was like, oh, so you're not going to do any of those cliches. And they were like, no, we're going to do all of them.
They got out of those banks pretty easy.
Yeah, but we're going to commentate on that fact that they are cliches.
That's funny.
And that we're doing them. Like it was...
Yeah.
There were literal times where it was like meta, right? Like they were like literally talking as though the audience, like they were trying to figure out what would the audience be thinking, and then let's say that, so that
that way let's beat them to the punch.
That way, when they think it, they'll be like, oh, cool,
that's funny.
Yeah. And I hated it.
Okay.
I hated it.
I didn't think about that, but I am now.
And an example is like when he's like, we're just going to go and I think it's the first heist.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go and it's going to work. And he's like, and they're like, yeah, it's just going to work. And they're like, well, why is it going to work? And then they do the exposition about explaining what they're going to do for the heist.
And then they pull back and they're like, it's already done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hated it. I hated that. And I'm like,
I guess I didn't notice.
The thing is, I'm like, I know what you were trying to do, because it's hard. When you have a heist movie, it's difficult to not have exposition explaining what the heist is, right?
Yeah.
Because if you don't explain what the heist is, then the audience doesn't feel any stakes when the heist is going down. I understand that. I get that you were trying to do something creative in a genre that has probably been beat to death. Yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
But acknowledging the cliche and thinking you are now out of it doesn't work.
No.
And that's where I got bugged. I was like, they thought they were being creative, and all it did was annoy me.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't notice until you said it, but I'm like,
that's what the movie is like. We even when Brad at the end is like, I thought I was the hero, I guess I'm the villain. I'm like, dude, come on. Like,
get out of here.
We obviously made that connection, Brad.
An hour ago.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. I'm like, you don't have to say it out loud.
Yeah.
And also, the movie doesn't need two bad guys or two people going against them. I'm like, that also bugs me. When I'm like, you have the Interpol agent, and then you have Brad, and I'm like,
I like that they kept screwing him over though.
Yeah.
Like I got him. It's
fine.
Like, we're at the wrong bank.
Right.
Oh, I think I got him here. They got away. I'm like, this poor guy.
Yeah, but it was
trying to do his job.
It was like a little like Black Panther-y, I guess, or not Black Panther-y. The Pink Panther.
Okay.
Like a little Pink Panther for me, where he just like they always like sort of like slipped away and
like just in the neck.
Yeah.
Like as they're driving away, like. They're pulling up and
I'm like, again, the movie, and it's like someone wrote it and was like, look, here are all the issues with a heist movie, and I'm gonna do them all, but I'm gonna try to do it my own way. And I was just not on. I was like, no, I'm not. I'm not about it. And here's the funny thing. I did not hate this movie.
No, because
I still enjoyed it.
Yeah,
like at times.
Well, here's the thing for me. It's a movie about safe cracking, and they made it interesting. Like from the first time when he goes over it, and like they're doing like all 5 of them to see who's the best.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's
the underground safe cracking.
Yeah, like I'm like, this is weird. But I'm like, this is like
it's interesting.
Yeah, like
they should have kept the story there. Like, he should have had to crack safes to save his life.
Yeah, and I'm like,
that would have been cool.
So they're doing like this underground thing to like. But at the same time, I'm like, this movie is about that. That's a weird movie. Mm-hmm. That's like that's the topic of the movie.
Yeah,
but at the end of it, I was like, oh, that's,
Yeah,
it's just like, it's a perfect Netflix movie.
Right.
It's like this movie belongs on Netflix.
I know. I was like, if I did pay money to see, if I paid $15 to see this movie, I would have been pissed.
Yeah.
I'd have been pissed.
But on a Friday night at home, I thought it was just so cool when like the tumblers were clicking and like it was falling into place and like they were. I don't know the safe term lingo, but like when they were like they were jiggling on the end and like they're gonna fall either way, and then like the safe sucked in all the tumblers.
Yeah,
and that's really interesting. Whoa. And he gave you like a history of like why these people designed.
And that was cool.
It's an interesting topic that they made me like, oh, cool, I'll watch this movie.
Yeah, the stuff with Dieter or whatever his name is in this movie.
Sebastian, I don't know.
No,
it's Sebastian.
What's his name become in
Dieter?
It's not Sebastian Dieter.
No, his name is Sebastian.
Sebastian what?
Oh, you can't pronounce it. You can't pronounce it.
Good have been good. No, that's the name of the safe. Good.
And then he changed it because.
Yeah, well, she changed it for him, which I also like. I'm like
on the passport.
The thing
is, that's how he got his name.
Yeah, but that's a really cool storytelling element that I appreciated, and that's why this movie has those moments.
It has enough to get you through it.
Yeah,
and it was only a little over 2 hours.
Yeah,
like easy.
Yeah, I mean, I knocked it out, and it was enough of the good stuff that I got through the movie, and there were times where I chuckled. I don't know, I laughed every time he spilled something on himself, which is silly, but it made me chuckle.
I felt so bad at the beginning of the movie when he's eating in the rain.
Yeah,
like he just.
Yeah, and you're just like, you feel awful for this guy.
Bro, he's such a good guy. He, like, hates his job. Everyone's screaming. I was like, oh my God.
I know.
I felt so bad when he was sitting eating a sandwich in the rain.
But you immediately, within the first 5 minutes of this movie, know exactly who this guy is.
Love him, though.
Yeah. And
love him. Get him in more stuff.
Super lovable. I love that they just...
Get him and Ryan Reynolds together to just do something funny.
I love that. Again, it's a storytelling element that they use to tell us, to show us who he is without telling us. And then the rest of the movie tells us without showing us. And that's what throws me off. There's like back and forth, sort of Zack Snyder style of...
I mean, he was there. He was there for a lot of this, so...
Yeah, so I'm sort of like, man, he's just not good at the not telling. He's got to get better at the showing.
Which is funny because knowing that, which I know, I understand it. I'm like still gonna watch his movies.
I know.
Like,
but it's okay if you understand when you go and you watch those movies that they're usually going to be a 7.
Yeah, and that's totally fine.
That's what you're getting. Because you're getting about
as I've said many times before, if I'm entertained and I had fun, I don't care. I don't need the best picture winner.
And that's hard to do.
I got a best picture winner a couple days before I saw this movie.
It
was Dune.
Oh,
so I saw Dune. I saw Last Night in Soho. I saw this movie. I got like a mix of everything in a 3 or 4 day span.
In a short time
and I'm
frame.
like, hey, not everything has to be perfect. Like, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Movies at the end of the day are for entertainment, and this movie entertained me enough. Exactly. To be after the 2 hours and 5 minutes, I was like, all right, cool. I hope I see this guy around.
Right.
I hope this isn't the end of him.
And maybe that's his whole deal is let me just do something to
get on the map. This movie, I think, was #1 for like 24 hours or something.
On Netflix?
Yeah.
Which is good because it bumped off Squid Game and Made. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, dude, that's still really good.
So I'm all for him.
Yeah, I'm all for the not Army of Thieves 2, but you know what?
No, I'm more on board for him to do something.
And I'm on board for an army of blank.
So what would you do next?
I would follow Dave Bautista. I would go and
see what he was doing before Vegas?
Yeah, I want to see him murder his family.
Jesus.
I want to see his crazy life that leads up to now I'm flipping burgers.
That is a
in
funny
a diner.
movie too. Well, I guess maybe there's other movies that have done it. I don't know all the movies. We know nothing here. But to show the end story of something first, and then to go back and show what had happened before.
Yeah.
So if you do a Dave Bautista thing before Vegas, now you have the ending in Vegas.
Right.
You have Sebastian's story, and then you have Dave Bautista's story.
Yeah, I know what you're.
So like you told it backwards, which is fine.
Yeah, but it is.
But I'm like, I know how Dieter dies.
Yeah.
Like I know he doesn't. I know he gets to Vegas. I know he gets to California, wherever they meet.
But it makes him closing the safe door on, I don't know his name anymore.
Jack. He was the killer. Yeah.
Makes Dieter closing the safe door on him more special because he
died in a safe.
But because of the safe cracking history, where the safe builder puts himself in a safe, right?
Yeah.
And so you're like,
and it all came together because he had done the same.
That added to it for me, where I'm going, okay, like if you can do that with all the characters, you don't have to make a 2-hour movie every time either.
Were you glad to have seen Dave Bautista at the end, or were you like, like I already know, like I didn't need that? I didn't know it was there.
I didn't know he was there.
I was like,
I thought it was cool. I think I did that. I think I went, oh, cool. And that was it.
Because the whole movie, I'm like, I know, and because they reference Vegas and the safe that's in Vegas. So, like, I know, we all know what happens after.
Right.
So, when the movie ended, I was like, oh, cool. Like, maybe I should go back and watch Army of the Dead. I haven't seen it in 6 months.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go watch it.
Maybe I'll go see that part. And again, if that's what
now that I know who this guy is, I can watch him more closely.
If it gets you to do that, I mean, I feel like it wins.
This movie was fine.
It was fine.
It's a Netflix movie.
I give it a 7. That's my.
I did about a 7.
Yeah. I give it a 7. Again, fun, but
I just like him.
Really pissed me off sometimes.
I like him so much, and I just hope I get to see
awesome.
more of that. What's coming up?
So
Sunday.
we're seeing Eternals on Sunday.
On Sunday.
Oh my God, are you hearing everything about Eternals?
I am. I'm not
Dear
surprised.
Lord.
I'm not surprised.
Folks, I said it here.
I'm
Chloe
not
Zhao
surprised.
as your director? Come on.
Nothing too bad on her. I'm sure she's a lovely person. But
She makes boring movies. And again,
I really want to watch the movie
Nomad.
you don't... Nomadland. I really want to watch it.
Dude, go
Because
watch.
I just want to shit on it.
Watch it before Sunday so you can see what's going on.
I'm excited for this movie. I'm... Like I've said on every show for every... How many episodes we've done now?
This is 17.
17. I've said on 16 episodes. I'm superheroed out.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm superheroed out.
And yet here we are
Talking about
going to the
on
movies
Sunday.
on Sunday.
But like I want to see it, and I'm curious.
Well, and I want it to be good.
And I do too.
Yeah, I don't want to go to the movies and have a bad time.
But I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't.
But it doesn't.
And I also don't want to make wild accusations before I see the movie because that's not right.
It's not right.
But like I'm about to make one, of course.
Oh, okay, go.
I don't want to see none of these characters that I'm going to see on Sunday are going to be my new favorite character.
Right.
Or am I going to want to see continue their story?
Right.
I can tell you that shit right now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to come out of this movie and be like, that's my new favorite. I want to know their history. I want to know their origin. I want to know where they came from. I want to know everything. Like, I'm not going to do that.
No.
I already have them. I already got my favorites.
This
movie's not going to change the way I feel about the Eternals.
No, and I think
if anything, it's going to stress me out more.
Having said that, though, it was, Chloe Zhao's taking on this project was probably an uphill
Huge.
It was probably an uphill battle from the get-go because she did have to say, okay, I need to tell a story about characters people probably don't care about.
Yeah.
And that was probably difficult. But what I knew was going to happen, and this is just from what I'm hearing, and I'm going to make my own. I'm not going to go into this theater hating this movie. I'm going to go in.
I am, and I need to fix my shit before I go in.
I'm going to wipe my brain, and I'm going to say, I'm going to sit down because I want to have a good time at the theater. I do not want to spend money to not have a good time.
Yeah.
It doesn't make me feel good. So I want her to do a good job. But I knew just from watching Nomadland that she was going to sit on stuff too long. And so
that's what I'm hearing.
And so I don't even have to read that to know that that's what she does because that's her directing style.
Yeah.
Right? And so
which is totally fine.
Fine.
But it's not fine for the MCU.
It's just if you are telling people you're about to walk into an action movie and then action is not in it that much, people are going to be upset. And that's what I'm worried about, but I'm going to go in and I'm going to have a blank slate.
I will try.
Fix it.
I will fix it before Sunday.
But that's what we have coming up on Sunday.
I'm like, oh, cool. Maybe they'll be like the villains, the Celestials.
Maybe.
But I'm like, they don't even look like interesting to me.
Look, she's a visual director. So if
it'll be a beautiful painting.
It'll be a beautiful movie. But what if she has one of the best visuals you've ever seen in a movie? Right? Like that could
and that's
that
awesome.
could do a lot. That could carry a lot of weight for you.
100%, because I like movies that are beautiful.
Yeah, so you might
at the same time, when I go into an MCU movie, I'm just going there to have fun.
I know.
I'm trying to have some popcorn and soda.
And
I'm trying to buy it on Blu-ray.
Well,
I don't necessarily need this elegant, beautiful thing that's being told that spans across the universe. That's awesome. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily. I want to see shit blow up in the MCU.
Well, and to your point, I think where the studio and fans are probably going to have a problem is that there's not a lot of replayability in that. Right?
Yeah, I might see this once and never watch it again.
Never again. And that's an issue. Yeah. That's a big time issue. And
big issue for weekend number 2.
It'll be the least watched Marvel movie in terms of minutes.
Yeah.
Right? And that's
I already get it's already the lowest critic
But aside from that,
that doesn't change my opinion on the movie.
It could be a 95% and still not have replayability.
Yeah.
And that is an issue for them.
It'll be interesting to see the film people that I talk to to see what
they think. Well, and again,
because I had non-film people come text me and tell me, I was like, dude, you see Dune? Holy shit, that was awesome.
Yeah, you don't have to be.
I was like, you liked that movie, you weirdo.
You don't have to be a film fan to appreciate
good. And I'm like, people really like Dune. But if those same people, which I know will text me about Eternals because we've already had that conversation.
Be like, Eternals was amazing.
Yeah, and like, Eternals is amazing. Or, Eternals sucked.
Yeah. And they
like, that'll tell me a lot.
Right. I agree. I think just because all we have right now are critic.
All we have now is critic rating. And I like the opinions of people that aren't wrapped up in film the way we are.
Yeah.
People that aren't like, looking for visuals and script and set, like, all those things. Yeah. I like to know what they think, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because those are the normal people.
More important.
Like, I love
more so than the others.
Exactly. I loved Winter Soldier. It was amazing. But dude, Eternal sucked.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that tells me a lot.
Yeah. So. And we'll see. I mean, again, I don't want it to suck. I want it to be good. I hope it's good.
So going in before, I guess, let me ask a question that can't be answered. Do you want an Eternal? Do you want Eternals 2? Or you? I mean, I know you can't know that until you see the movie.
But I know
it's a dumb question. But, like, when movies were announced, like, when Dune was announced, I was like, I hope we get a couple Dunes. Even before I saw it, I'm like, this is something I want to see.
Yeah, and the thing is, a lot can be done from the marketing, right? When Dune came out, and on paper, I didn't care about Dune. When Dune marketing started, I knew immediately.
When trailers and stuff were rolling out, when things were happening, I was like,
right.
Whoa.
When you get the marketing train going, I knew that Dune was going to, at the very least, be a spectacle. I knew people were going to call it beautiful, and I knew it was going to at least entertain people.
Yeah.
From the Eternals marketing, I get worried because it looks campy, and so
it's just
So I'm like, do I want this story to? Do I want what already appears to be a slow telling story to continue? Probably not. But I don't know that until I see it. But just based on the trailers that I've seen and the clips that I've seen, I'm like,
this movie
probably not.
This movie is stressed me out for a while
because
I'm like, cool, maybe it will be different than anything they've done before. Maybe it will be maybe it will be all these things, and that's awesome. Yeah. And then they like throw a dumb joke in there. I'm like, you're still doing this. I'm like, okay, cool. So bring in somebody like Chloe Zhao, make it a beautiful story about the universe and these characters and make it big and unlike anything they've done before. I'm on board for that.
Right.
And then they say something dumb. I'm okay. Never mind. You brought me back. Yeah. Now I'm back. Yeah, okay, cool. I was on board for a minute there. I was like, oh, cool.
And then you ruined it.
This is different. This is different and new and exciting. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, maybe it's not. Sorry.
Exactly.
Cool. Gotcha. All right, so I'll go watch it because it's a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
But you brought me back to earth.
You said
just with some of the clips and trailers.
Yeah. You said it better. Okay. You said it better than I did. It's just like not giving you confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's exactly what's going on.
And I'm sure it'll get a trilogy like everything else does. Thor, everybody got a whole trilogy. But whatever.
So another movie besides Eternals that is coming out, I think. Dang, I'm trying to remember what the November. It's another Netflix movie, which is Red Notice that I'm gonna watch. That's this week.
Oh, I'm super interested in Red Notice.
Again,
I just want to watch Gal Gadot run around for 2 hours.
Yeah. Me too.
I'm sure there's people that want to watch The Rock and Ryan Reynolds run around for 2 hours.
But
if I get to watch Gal Gadot beat the shit out of both of them,
that's what I love about this so far.
I'm turning the volume up.
I love that she's punking these guys.
She's beating the crap out of them.
I love it. And you know what? I am huge fans of all three of these people. Huge
Rock's fans. Arguably one of the biggest.
Oh, yeah.
If not the biggest in the world right now.
Again, I know I'm watching a Netflix movie.
I know makes me nervous.
Probably going to be between a 7 and an 8.
Yep.
And again, I know that going in.
But Gal Gadot already puts it at a 6. Right off the bat.
That's where you're starting.
I'm starting at a 6. Did you see the clip they released? The 3-minute clip?
No, I haven't.
Oh my god, this movie's immediately at a 6.
Oh, really?
Yeah! Oh, yeah. She looked phenomenal. Oh my god.
She's one of my favorites.
I have 50% of the views on that 2.6 million view video.
No way.
Probably.
I need to go check it out.
I watch it every day when I wake up and every night before I go to bed.
What are you talking about?
She just looks good in it. That's all I mean. It's not that the scene was particularly good or anything. Nope, she just looked real.
What is drawing you back?
She just looked real great in that scene.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, I'll go check it out. Yeah. I haven't seen it. I usually don't watch clips and stuff for movies.
I did, but the thumbnail clickbaited the hell out of me for that one.
No way. Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They got, and I know that thumbnail was clickbait, and I fell for it.
And you were all about it.
Many a time I fell for it. God. Yeah. 100%.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go check it out because you said to.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, it's great.
For this channel. Yeah. I will go check out that clip.
Yeah, that's great.
That's hilarious. Dang. And then there's obviously, I mean, it's a busy winter for us, I think.
I'm excited. I'm going to the movies.
Yeah. I'm going to have to see if I can get out for all kinds of stuff. Even like...
so real quick. Super fast. Yeah. House of Gucci. Like real quick.
Am I on board or
no?
What do I think? Or
just real quick, what do you think? Just a couple sentences.
You know what?
Super fast.
Trailer number 2 is good.
It reeled me in.
It's a good
and I fell into the YouTube rabbit hole of looking into the history of Gucci. Let's go.
Dude,
But apparently the family is pissed.
Oh, yeah, I heard that.
I didn't know that until before we started filming, before you got here. I was reading up on it. Yeah, so apparently they're really mad.
Because they're just airing out their dirty laundry.
Yes. But I also watched like a 16-minute thing, and I don't know how true it is. It was whatever.
Sure.
It was on YouTube.
Sure, yeah.
There's some blood in this situation, in this family, in this product, which nobody knows anything about. People just think they're the coolest shit because they have a Gucci belt or whatever.
Right.
But like the blood that birthed that belt that you're wearing, whoa.
I know, and I didn't care until trailer 2.
Trailer 2 was wild.
And you know what? I'm on board with Lady Gaga being an actress.
I need to see some more because I don't know how to feel the same way.
I like it. Okay. She might be bridging that gap there.
Okay.
And
this movie might do it.
It might. I think it's gonna put her on the other side.
And I forgot she won an Academy Award already.
Yeah, dude.
I forgot. I know. I didn't see whatever her and Bradley Cooper were doing. I know it was the greatest thing ever. I didn't see it.
A Star is Born.
Star is Born.
Dude, A Star is Born is a phenomenal movie.
I know.
It's phenomenal.
That's something I need to do. And maybe I should do it before House of Gucci.
Maybe. If you want to see just
I just want to see what Lady Gaga has doing.
Range.
Yeah.
I think if you take nothing out, and the thing is, I watched the Lady Gaga documentary, and that actually kind of, like, it didn't make me like...
Yeah, she wore a dress of meat. Come on.
You know, it's just that she's... But what she's about is getting into character. And I don't think you...
She looks like it's got it down. She looks like she's got it down.
Even in her professional singing career, she has been in character.
Mm-hmm.
And... Again, I think it just lends well to her being a good actress.
Well, after I heard the real lady talk, and then I watched I was like...
You were like, damn! Okay.
But, like, I'm just excited for this movie. Yeah. The cast, like, Ridley Scott, like...
I'm like...
This movie has nothing going against it.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that the family, I guess, is pissed off. But they're like, whatever, we don't care.
If Chloe Zhao had an uphill battle making Eternals, this movie is on a downward slope. Just like... chilling.
But I'm curious because people like rave about Gucci, and I have a friend that like works in fashion, like that's what she does. So I want to call her and be like, hey, like what is
the big deal?
Is Gucci really what people claim it to be? Because like when she talks about fashion brands, she mentions brands I've never even heard of, and she's like, these are the top players.
Oh yes,
and I'm like, oh, so it's not like I like Ralph Lauren and like all these other brands, but she's like, no, those aren't even the top in the game. I'm like, whoa.
I mean, people do what we do for fashion.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But is Gucci nuts. Like a top 5?
I have no idea.
I'm more familiar with Ralph and like Tom Ford. Like I would love like a Tom Ford suit. Of course I can't afford it, but if I don't know anything about fashion, I just told you the 2 brands that I know that are I guess higher in fat. I don't know.
I wear graphic tees.
I'm wearing a Nike shirt from TJ Maxx.
Yes. So
off the clearance rack.
I do not care about fashion, but
it's hard when it's $60,000 for a sock.
Yeah. Well, I mean
and I got on the Gucci website.
That's the point of it, though. That's it's the.
But after I watched that documentary, I was like, the process that goes into these things is incredible.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, so that's why they're charging. Kidneys for purses. Like, all right.
But House
I'm
of Gucci,
curious.
I am
House of Gucci.
I am now excited for it.
I'm gonna watch
where
it.
I wasn't before.
Just the cast alone got me. Cast and director, I'm like, let's go.
One thing I think that I want to watch coming up too, real quick, for fun, I don't even know if we'll review it, is I want to see Resident Evil because of just my history. Just being a kid again.
That game, though, gave me nightmares.
I know, but I'm going to make you watch the movie, though.
I see that.
You're gonna get nightmares
I
again.
see that.
Nightmares again.
Nightmares in my future.
Between Resident Evil and Uncharted, well, Resident Evil's not going to be good. Uncharted might actually be good.
I'm super excited for Uncharted.
But it's just sort of cool to be like, hey, like these are games I played a long time ago.
Yeah, these are video games, and I love
people
that.
are making, and then again, The Last of Us on HBO, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe
Last of Us is a phenomenal game, but so is Uncharted. And I only played the first game of all these games.
Oh yeah.
I never. Yeah. I think I did a little
Uncharted.
bit of The Last of Us Part 2.
I didn't do, but I did. I played the Uncharted.
But like because I didn't play a lot of video games.
Oh.
But I'm like, let's see. Like I played all the BioShocks, but I played them with you. We played a lot of BioShock.
Yeah, I know.
Early on.
My favorite
Like
game.
you can't make a BioShock movie.
You can make a BioShock HBO series like they're doing with Last of Us.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing.
I'm excited.
But immediately, right now, the thing that's exciting me the most is, I think, King Richard with Will Smith.
Yeah?
No.
And I haven't put, I was going to say, I haven't put a... And
not
again,
at all.
Will Smith's an actor. I go watch something just because Will Smith's in it.
He is for me too. I think.
And I'm like, this could be.
I think King Richard's going to be a phenomenal movie, though.
Wait, so what are you most excited for? That's how
the rest of this year.
wrap
The thing is,
this
I was
bad boy
excited
up.
for Spider-Man, but man, I'm hearing some terrible things about this movie, and I am like really.
Really,
nervous.
I haven't heard anything at all.
I've been.
And
so,
can we
again, I'm like,
just stop the whole. And one of the guys that we watched had said it, and he hit the nail on the head perfectly after I had seen what he said. Is everyone's complaining about not getting a second trailer?
oh, I don't care.
Who
about that.
cares?
Yeah, I don't care about that.
Who cares? And he's like, well, the entitlement of the fans, that's all. We all are entitled.
Yeah.
Guess what? I don't give a shit about the trailer.
Yeah, I don't care.
I'm going to go watch it. What do you care if there's no trailer?
Okay.
I got a little nervous because we hadn't got any trailer.
Yeah.
I was getting a little annoyed. Guess what? I got a trailer. I'm going to go watch it.
So what I was getting nervous about is that the word on the street is that they were like rewriting up until the last minute because they were not sure.
Can't.
Like as
No.
Marvel shows and things were coming out and people were giving their feedback, they were trying to make adjustments on the fly.
No.
Yeah, and so I'm like, ooh, like you were making like story element adjustments on the fly? Like that makes me super nervous.
No. I mean, it could.
It could, and again, I mean,
it makes me think when a quarterback changes the play at the last minute.
Yeah, they're throwing an audible.
I'm like, what? No. And it either works great or they like completely mess it up.
That's exactly
I
what
don't
they're
think
doing
there's
right
any
now.
in between when you do something in the last minute.
Yeah, it works out.
If
or
you see something
doesn't.
like, yo, we got to change it up real quick to benefit us, and it works, fine, it works.
Yeah.
But it's either fails or it is successful. There's no in between with
Yeah,
that.
so that's what I'm hearing right now is exactly right. To use your analogy, they're throwing an audible right now. They're calling an audible.
It's scary at
and
the last
it's like,
minute.
you know what? The quarterback's there in the huddle. He's like, I'm just going to throw a Hail Mary. And they're like, hey, are you sure? And he's like, yeah. I mean, we got 2 minutes left in the game. Like, I'm going to throw a Hail Mary. And they're like, whoa, but maybe not. And he's like, I'm going to do it. And then he gets up, calls hut, and then he runs the ball.
Yeah, and you're like,
wait, you said you were going to throw it.
Oh,
and he's like, I know. But then he might still score a touchdown on the run.
Yeah. And then if he does,
you know what?
It worked.
And
but
then that's
sometimes
fine.
they beat the crap out of him.
And then he gets injured.
You're like, oh shit, sorry. We should have just stuck to what we were doing.
I should have thrown it.
We should have thrown it because everybody knew what was happening.
Now I'm injured and it wasn't worth it.
That's scary. But
yeah,
like again, I'm gonna see it.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm in a movie mood.
It just right now, my brain is saying right now it might be a mess, and that's what's worrying me. Is it might be
and then they'll
messy.
throw them back to Sony and be like, good luck.
Yeah. But that's it. That's all I got.
Dune.
Amazing.
If you see one movie this year, I guess I can. I haven't seen all the movies this year. I've seen a lot of movies this year.
I'm making my
list. If you see one movie this year,
let it be Dune. In theaters.
Go see Dune in the biggest screen, the loudest, whatever possible. Go see Dune.
All right.
Like and subscribe. I know I don't say that a lot.
Oh, never.
Like and subscribe. If you're liking what we're doing for the 4 people that are watching this.
Please like and subscribe.
Just let us know. So we're going to do it either way.
I respond to the comments. Whoever comments.
Yeah, Kanan, you bitch, commented on one of them. And I'm like, come on, guys. What are you doing?
Did you say lame? Was he the...
Yeah, he's like lame or something. I was like, come on, dude. And I didn't see it until recently. It was like a week ago or whatever. Like, come on, guys. What are you doing?
I figured it was something
he's
funny.
out there commenting and supporting. He's following the channel.
That's all I want. But I'm saying
thanks,
if you guys, if you think you engage us and I don't engage you back, you are wrong.
Yeah.
I will comment.
Regardless, we'll keep doing this because we like doing it. So
we love
that's
it.
all that matters.
That's it.
All right. Eternals on Sunday. Let's go.
Later.